If there's one focal length that's been argued about more than pineapple on pizza, it's the 50mm. Let's talk about one of the most debated lenses in photography and video, the 50mm. Now, some people swear by it. It's the only lens you'll ever need, they say. Others say it's overrated and boring. So when Sony released the 50mm f1.4 G Master, the real question wasn't, is it sharp? The question was, does this lens actually make sense for content creators? Creators shooting YouTube, commercial work, interviews, and everyday content. So that's what we're getting into today, so stick around. And welcome back. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button right now. Don't worry about the like or the bell. You've obviously found me already, so as long as I'm in your subscription list, we're cool. Now, if you've seen my 70-200 GM review, you know I care less about specs on paper and more about the lens and how it behaves when the camera's rolling. For me, a 50mm lens is what lives on the camera when you don't know what's coming up next. The 50mm is what I call a foundational lens. It's close to how we naturally see the world, which makes it incredibly powerful for storytelling. It works with talking head videos, portraits, product shots, lifestyle content, and even cinematic B-roll. But for content creators, that versatility is everything. When you're juggling YouTube videos, client work, and personal projects, you don't always think about what focal length you need. You want a lens that just works for most situations. And that's exactly where the 50mm fits. If you're trying not to be flashy and you want something that's useful, this is the lens for you. First off, build quality. Now, this is the classic G Master, solid, premium, weather sealed, and confidence inspiring. It feels like the lens you can rely on day in and day out. But what really stands out here is the size and the balance. Compared to the 50mm f1.2, this lens is noticeably smaller and lighter, and it makes a real difference in daily use. The way I see it, the f1.2 is a statement lens and the f1.4 is your working lens. So if you're shooting handheld, filming yourself, or running a gimbal, you feel that immediately on the bodies like the a7 IV or the a7S III or the FX3. The balance just feels right. It doesn't pull on the camera forward. It doesn't feel awkward or front heavy. This is a lens you can comfortably leave on your camera for long sessions, which matters more than what people admit. Autofocus on this lens is excellent. It uses Sony's XT linear motors, and the performance is exactly what you expect from a modern G Master. Fast, accurate, and reliable. For hybrid shooters like me, this is huge. 1 minute you're filming a YouTube video, the next you're shooting stills for social media or a client. The autofocus just keeps up. In video, it's smooth and quiet with no distracting hunting or pulsing. Paired with Sony's eye autofocus, you can step in front of the camera, hit the record button, and trust that the focus is going to stay locked where it should be. So for solo creators, that confidence is everything. All right, let's talk about image quality. Yes, it's very sharp, even wide open at f1.4. That's to be expected at this level, right? But what really matters is how this lens renders an image. Contrast feels natural and controlled. Colors look rich without being overdone. And skin tones look great straight out of the camera, which makes the time in post all so much easier. And then there's the bokeh. At f1.4, you get this beautiful subject separation without things feeling messy or distracting. Backgrounds fall away smoothly, highlights stay clean, and everything just feels polished. This is the kind of look that subtly elevates your content without screaming for attention. For video shooters, this lens is a really strong option. Focus breathing is well controlled, which makes a big difference if you're pulling focus or letting autofocus do its thing. Manual focus feels smooth and predictable, and the aperture ring can be declicked, which is a big win for video work. On full frame, 50mm feels intimate without feeling cramped. It's close enough to feel personal, but not so tight that it becomes uncomfortable. For YouTube, interviews, short films, and cinematic B-roll, it's a real versatile focal length. Now let's be honest, it's not perfect. First, it's not cheap. This is still a premium G master lens and the price reflects that. Second, if you're chasing the absolute shallowest of depth of field, the f1.2 version still has an edge. And finally, 50mm isn't for everyone. Some creators prefer wider lenses for vlogging or tighter lenses for compression. So yeah, this isn't a universal solution. If you're a content creator shooting mostly wide-angle vlogs, this probably isn't your first pick. But if you're doing YouTube sit-down videos, client interviews, portraits, product work, or cinematic B-roll, this lens makes a lot of sense. It's versatile, it looks great, and it's easy to live with. It feels like the kind of lens that you build a kit around. Not because it's flashy, but because it consistently delivers. So, the Sony 50mm f1.4 G Master is not the smallest lens. It's not the cheapest, but it's one of those tools that quietly elevates your work when used well. For me as a content creator, it's less about flexing gear, more about having a reliable everyday lens that helps tell better stories. Would I recommend it? Well, if the focal length fits your style, absolutely. And that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, hit that like, subscribe for more creator-focused gear reviews, and let me know in the comments, is a 50mm part of your kit? See you in the next one. Ciao for now.